What if I told you that almost everything you've been taught about money is wrong? The one thing we all need, yet it's barely mentioned in school. Forget algebra equations or Shakespeare quotes. Why aren't we taught about taxes, investing, or even how credit cards really work? In today's video, we're diving into the real truth about money. Trust me, this is the financial class you wish you had in school. Let's start with the big question. Why don't schools teach us about money? Well, it's not just an oversight. The education system is built on outdated principles. Back when public education was first established, the goal was to create good workers, not entrepreneurs. Schools wanted obedient employees for factories, not savvy investors or business owners. The world has changed, but education hasn't. We still learn about the Pythagorean theorem, which, let's be honest, you've never used, but barely touch on personal finance. Why? Because keeping people financially illiterate helps maintain a society of consumers, not creators. If everyone knew how to build wealth, who would buy things on credit? Schools aren't designed to make you rich. They're designed to make you compliant. Let's talk about the money myth you've been spoon-fed. Ever heard the phrase, work hard, save your money, and one day you'll retire comfortably? It's an outdated belief designed to keep you in the slow lane of financial success. Here's the truth. Saving alone will not make you rich. Inflation alone eats away at your savings over time. You're actually losing money just by leaving it in the bank. The wealthy don't stash their money in savings accounts, they invest it. Whether it's in stocks, real estate, or businesses, their money works harder than they do. And guess what? They weren't taught that in school either. The 9-to-5 grind, save, retire cycle? It's a hamster wheel. The only person getting rich in that scenario is your boss. Here's where it gets interesting. Wealthy people understand that time is the most valuable asset. They leverage systems, people, and investments to create passive income. While most people work for money, the wealthy let their money work for them. They also play by a different set of rules, rules that aren't taught in schools. Take taxes, for example. The rich know how to use tax loopholes to their advantage, reducing their taxable income and reinvesting those savings to grow even wealthier. Meanwhile, you and I, we're over here trying to figure out why the tax form looks like a calculus problem. So what's the secret to wealth? It's not luck or hard work. It's strategy. The rich focus on assets that generate income, not ones that depreciate. Cars, clothes, and gadgets, these are liabilities, not assets. If it doesn't put money in your pocket, it's not making you richer. Simple as that. Now let's talk about you. Chances are, if you're watching this video, you're probably living paycheck to paycheck. You've got bills stacking up, debts hanging over your head, and that anxiety at the end of the month when you're wondering if your paycheck will even cover the rent. Sound familiar? The truth is, most people are stuck in this cycle because they're only focused on earning more, not managing or multiplying their money. You might think, if I could just get a raise, I'll be fine. But more money doesn't fix the underlying issue. The problem is that we're not taught how to manage the money we already have. Living paycheck to paycheck isn't a lack of income, it's a lack of strategy. Most of us are spending money on liabilities instead of assets. That's why, even when you do get that raise, you still feel broke. It's because your money is going out faster than it's coming in, and it's not being put to work for you. Here's the thing. It's not just the wealthy who get ahead. Some of the world's richest people started out with nothing and worked their way up. Take Oprah Winfrey, for example. Born into poverty in rural Mississippi, Oprah overcame countless obstacles, abuse, racism, and sexism, to become one of the richest women in the world. Her empire is built on talent, grit, and business savvy. Then there's Howard Schultz, the man behind Starbucks. He grew up in a housing project in Brooklyn, watching his family struggle with money. But instead of staying trapped in that cycle, Schultz found a way out by building one of the most successful coffee chains in the world. What do these self-made millionaires have in common? They didn't follow the traditional get a good job and save formula. Instead, they built businesses, created value, and invested their time and money into assets that paid off exponentially. Now, let's get real for a minute. How long would it take you to become a millionaire by working a typical 9-to-5 job? Let's say the average salary in the US is around $55,000 per year. If you save 10% of that, about $5,500 a year, and do it consistently, It would take you 182 years to reach $1 million, without accounting for inflation. And that's assuming you save perfectly and never dip into your savings for emergencies. Yeah, no thanks. Plus, unless you have access to some wonder pill, nobody is living to 182 to see that happen. Most people can't afford to wait that long. That's why the wealthy don't rely on salaries alone. They invest their money into assets, stocks, real estate, and businesses that grow over time, creating wealth while they sleep. So why isn't this financial knowledge taught in schools? The cynical answer is because an educated, financially literate population is harder to control. There's less reliance on credit cards, loans, and living paycheck to paycheck. If everyone knew how to invest and build businesses, the consumer-driven economy would look very different. But here's the good news. You don't need a school to learn this stuff. In fact, some of the most successful people never relied on formal education for their financial knowledge. They sought it out themselves, and that's what you need to do. Now, if you're tired of the same old financial advice, save your money, work hard, and hope for the best, this channel is for you. I'm here to expose the truth about money that schools and governments don't want to teach. If you want to know more about how to escape the rat race, invest smartly, and build wealth the right way, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss what's coming next. After all, who wouldn't want to finally learn what school should have taught you about money?